Hi, my name is Peter Hinson. I'm the founder of Nextworks. I'd like to talk about what is happening in the world of HR and how maybe the world of HR could take some clues from the world of marketing on how to tackle the next, say, 10, 15 years. I think there has been an enormous transformation in the world of marketing. If you see how marketing departments have evolved, how we try to understand the customer using data and information, that has been a truly remarkable part of digital transformation. And probably exactly the same needs to happen in the world of organizations and HR. If you see how we still run corporations and organizations today, nothing much has changed. We still use the same mechanism and paradigm that we've been using for almost 150 years. The Industrial Revolution was basically the basis on how we still think about building and running organizations today. Max Weber, probably one of the founders of how we think about organizations today, in 1904 was basically just ecstatic about bureaucracy. Bureaucracy was the best way to run organizations that were designed for the industrial age. At that moment, we needed to have a mechanism to run organizations filled with large groups of unskilled labor. And by God, bureaucracy was just fantastic. Unfortunately, we still use it as the standard operating system to run organizations today, and that doesn't cut it anymore. We don't have large groups of unskilled labor. We have really talented individuals with very specific expertise, and they don't want to be treated as large groups. They want to be treated really as individuals and as unique employees. So that's why we have this enormous tension between the bureaucracy that served us so well in the industrial age, and then today the realization that that just doesn't work anymore. So the operating system we use to run organizations has become obsolete. So the question is, can we actually reimagine our instruments? Because work essentially is broken today, and our tools that we use have to be readjusted for this new age. So what happened in the world of marketing? In marketing, basically 4 things became apparent in the last 10 years. First of all, relevance. If you want to be really relevant for your customers, there is no point in talking about average customers. People don't want to be treated as an average customer. The average customer died in the 20th century. We now are using everything we can to focus on the unique, the individual, the end user that is truly the unique entity in this aspect. The second thing that is really clear is we start to talk about value more and more. It's not about gathering data. People are really going crazy about big data, but it's not about gathering data. It's about turning data into value, and not value for the organization, but really value to help focus on the individual, to help be really relevant for the end consumer. The third is timeliness. There is no point in knowing everything about your customer 15 minutes after they've left your website. You have to be proactive. You have to understand exactly what you're going to tell that customer the moment that you have an interaction. And the fourth is using the power of the network. How can you use the sensitivity of the network to propagate information and this relevance faster than ever before? So it is very clear, if you would walk into a marketing department, say 10, 15 years ago, there was nothing. There was no data, there was no analytics, there was no algorithms, and we didn't have any data scientists. Most of marketing departments were run on gut feeling, and that has dramatically transformed. We have reinvented the marketing department for the 21st century. What if we do exactly the same for HR? Instead of focusing on the average employee, what if we could really build something that focuses on the individual, on the unique expertise and skills of the unique individual that is your employee? What if we could mine an enormous amount of data that is floating around inside organizations and tailor that to focus on being relevant for the individual? What if we would have the possibility to really zoom in on the individual and provide value for their environment? What if we could actually be able to find out who should talk to whom? What if we could see these guys are working on exactly the same problem? What if we would be proactive in managing how to address that issue? And last, what if we could really leverage the power of the network? What if we could transform our hierarchies into the true networks and these network organizations? We shouldn't just burn all the org charts. We should rethink how to use these tools. If we focus on relevance, if we focus on value, if we focus on understanding how to be proactive and use the power of the network, I believe we could rethink our instruments. We could reimagine the tools that we use in the world of HR and follow exactly the same pattern that we had when we transformed the marketing department over 10 years ago. I think this is an enormous challenge for HR, but it means not just new tools, new techniques, new technologies, also new skills, new competencies, and probably new people. This is the time to reimagine the world of HR. This is the time to reimagine the tools we have in HR.